ètò ìgbéyàwó láyé bàbá olúwa mi fi lélẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àṣẹ mi.
If you are just coming on, thank you for coming and joining us.
Ètò ìgbéyàwó
Thank you for
láyé
coming and joining
bàbá
us.
olúwa mi fi lélẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àṣẹ mi.
Thank you. Olúṣọlá Owóẹ̀yẹ, thank you. Moses Bankole, thank you. T. Olúfúnkẹ́, thank you. Honey Hyde, thank you. Olúṣẹ̀san Hasan. Good afternoon and welcome if you're just coming on. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
What God has done together, let no man put asunder.
Miss Ajibulu, good afternoon. Miss Mercy, good afternoon. Miss Shola, Mr. Shola Ogundele, thank you. Mr. Smith, Miss Smith, lovely princess, thank you. Apostle Yinka, good afternoon, thank you. Osayade, good afternoon. Ogwadi Amalasha, good afternoon. Olowe, thank you. Pereira, thank you. Funke Babalola, welcome. Bello Taiwo, welcome. Oshato, thank you. Princess Adioli, thank you. Miss Modupe Ogunjimi Salah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Shola Ogundele, thank you. Thank you. Iya Adebowale, thank you. Thank you, Riade. I was on Wednesday. Where were you? I came on Thursday. I think it was a Thursday. Miss Idowu, thank you. Mr. Ayo Odunsi, thank you. Boye Idowu, thank you. Timothy Titi Adebayo, thank you. Olajumoke Ola, thank you. Please let us quickly share it onto our timeline. Let us share it timeline. Let us share it on our timeline. Let us put it on our timeline straight away. Please enjoy. Let us share it straight away as we are coming on. Let's share it straight away. Let's share it, please. That is the only way we can help each other. Let's share it. You know? Let's share it, please. Let's share it. Thank you. Olajumoke Oyetinpopo, let's share it already. Please, let's share. Oluwakemi Okedeji, thank you.
Ètò ìgbéyàwó láyé bàbá olúwa mi fi lélẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àṣẹ mi.
Thank you.
What God has joined together, let no man put asunder. What God has joined together, let no man
No, I wasn't out.
put asunder.
Please, let's share. Let's share. Yes. Thank you, Adebipa Adibulu. Thank you. Please share. I was on Thursday. I came on Thursday. Where I did? I came on.
What God has joined together, let no man put asunder. What God has joined together, let no man put asunder.
Look at your topic. Look at your headline. Always look at the headline. You will see the topic there. Always look at the flyer. Look at the flyer quickly. Choose the right partner for marriage. The topic is choose the right marriage partner. Choose the right marriage partner is the topic. But then it's much deeper than that, the way we are going to look at it today is going to be very interactive, and we are going to entertain a lot of phone calls to come in, you know. We are not going to be selfish with our topic. We are going to allow people to call in. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is 2:15 here in the United Kingdom. I guess it's the same time in most of the African continents. As such, I want to welcome you on board. To all my fans all over the world, United States of America, thank you. Federal Republic of Nigeria, thank you. United Kingdom, thank you. Germany, thank you. France, Spain, Portugal, thank you. Dubai, Saudi Arabia, thank you. Kuwait, thank you. A lot of people have been calling me from countries, and I was shocked to know that it has just gone too much viral. But as such, I want to say thank you. It's a very, very provocative topic as such. I want us to look at it from academic point of view. At the same time, I want us to be very relaxed with it. I don't want us to take it the other way around. Choosing the right partner for marriage is very important in life. A lot of marriage has dent today, and a lot of marriage has problem just as a result of them not understanding each other. What can be done to encourage people when they are going into relationship? What can be done? First thing that I want you to be aware of is that unless it is assigned and ordained by God, it is impossible for it to last long. It will only come as time, and it will go as it pleases it. Marriage is not a baby journey, and it's not a joker. Relationship can be anything you want to play with, but when it comes to marriage, it is not something that anybody can play with anyhow. I have been thinking about this topic for the past 4 months. So while I was in Nigeria, I assigned my Nigerian manager to prepare me a flyer for it in Nigeria. I was supposed to have done this topic last week, but I decided to put it on ground when I come to England, so that I will have space and time to deal with this topic. And that is why I asked them to put today's date to it so that it can be done today. You see, people go into relationship, especially marriage, tie the knot. I'm going to look at it in a different angle, and I'm going to allow phone calls. But it's going to be WhatsApp only because I've taken the SIM card off. So it's going to be WhatsApp only. You see, there are so many things to consider when it comes to choosing the right partner for marriage. Right partner for your marriage. There's so many things you have to consider. But it appears that nowadays, some of the relationship that happens to break down today, it happens because it is in the interest of parents alone. The parents use it for their society high stake to connect their kids into relationship without thinking about the effect of it on the children, whether they are going to be happy inside it or not. A lot of parents use their selfish ideology, their selfish stake, attitude to get their children or their child, your son or daughter, away from the person they love dearly, because they are very selfish and think about their own short-term interest. You see, to be more fulfilled in the society, there are certain things that has to be in place properly. No one is perfect. But conducting the research on this particular topic, we realize that, thank you, we realize that during our research, our parents of today's date put the interest of the children aside and put their society interest, their status, they put it forward when it comes to decision for marriage partner for their children. Also, the children themselves, a lot of them fail to understand what they really want for themselves. You see, choosing the right life partner is a high-stake decision. It is a high-stake decision. And as such, one has to be very careful when it comes to selection. of the right partner. In order to lead a happy married life, you need to select the right person. Now, there are some tips that I'm going to give to you to look at it. Parents and those who are going into relationship, you look at it. You see, there has to be combination. There has to be combination one way or another. I will say it and I will say it and say it and say it again. There is nothing in common for two people that are not in the same standard. Nothing in common. They will not last. I have listened to some academic scholars and I totally agree with them. There is no way two people will survive relationship if they don't have anything in common. Education, they don't have it both together. Possibly one is high, the other one is low. Secondly, it could be that the person, one comes from a very rich family, wealthy family, and the other one wants to go into it just in the name of, let me just go and get what I wanted to eat. They're not going to last. Or both of them even come from a very high stake family, wealthy, and they are not interested in each other. But the parent, because of their selfish interest, their status in the society, they want to get something from it. As a result of that, it is imperative for them that the kids must marry each other just because of their personal interest. They forget the happiness of those kids at the end of the day. Marriage is not something that you go into and it's so just easy like this. You know, and just easy like this and say, I want to cut it off. There has to be something difficult. There has to be some things that makes you think deeply and say, listen, if I don't get out of this thing, this will kill me. But if that thing is not there, it is not something you can just walk out of anyhow. Don't misquote my English and don't just cut it anyhow. You got to follow this topic on perfectly. You have to follow it on perfectly before you can get a point that you will need for yourself on this particular topic. It is difficult, I said earlier on, but when you look at the society we are today, our parents, they want to introduce their kids to each other, but those kids have not met before. One lives in Nigeria, the other one lives in the United States or United Kingdom, and he has never come home to meet her before. But the parents have been friending each other and very have business together and enjoy social society, their social high-stakes society status together very well. But at the end of the day, they are thinking that, oh, it would be nice if Sade and Kola can marry each other. Forgetting that Sade and Kola have never met before. When we look at today's date status, it's saying, the question is asking is that, have you met each other? It's a very vital question to ask in any relationship. They have not met each other, and the parents insisted that they must marry to each other. Tell me how that marriage is going to last long. These are the things that the parents have failed to consider, and the long-term effect of it on kids. A flamboyant wedding can be put out there, and a lot of people will go into it. People will attend the party, people will come for the marriage. But at the end of the day, it doesn't last long. I have seen a big society wedding that they spend almost 70,000, 80,000 pounds, I am saying, and it only lasts 2 months. It only lasted for 2 months. Because the parents have failed to allow the children to go into, to take what they want, to choose the right partner for themselves. If you don't choose the right partner at the right time, it can make you and it can break you. A partner is a journey of life that can make you and break you. If you're so one of those that you are so into sex, and all you enjoy is sex, that the person that can serve you on bed is what you want, you will not going to get a last long relationship. Because as the person is able to serve you in bed, it will be good. He or she will also be good to serve any other person at any time you are missing. There are some certain kinds of things that have to be present in elements of relationship. And when those things are not there, it's a huge problem. It's a huge problem. Look at it from this angle. You have to be sure to select a partner that will respect all aspects of your life. You have to be sure to select a partner that will respect all aspects of your life, regardless of your mistake, regardless of your broken spirit, regardless of your things. You must be able to select someone that will be there for you. But in today's date relationship, a lot of people are looking for somebody who is tall, somebody who is huge, somebody who is handsome, somebody who is full in pocket, somebody who is good in bed. You cannot have everything together at the same time. It is so impossible to have everything at the same time. Above all, if you don't know God, you can't get to anywhere. You can't get far with it. Selection of life partner needs God before any other thing. Now, shared values is what I'm going to look at first. But before I go into shared values, let you listen to what my lady said here, and then we'll take it on from there.
That which we say, that we seek. As you move forward, just remember, one of the biggest decisions you'll make in your life is to choose the man or the woman that you will marry. People take it lightly, but it can make or break your life. So with all the ambition and the vision that you have, with all the dreams that your parents have for you, if you marry the wrong guy or the wrong girl, everything can be derailed one way or the other. So don't play with it. Don't marry a fool, whether male or female. Have a sense of who you are. And when you have a sense of who you are, you will understand who is the fit for you as the Lord leads you. You will know that it's not about naira and kobo. It's not about silver and gold. The son of a rich man is not a rich boy. Because only the one that has the cash flow has the money. What's the best thing that will happen? They'll have a big wedding. They didn't have it for you. They had the big wedding for their own image. They'll give you a house and many cars on day one. All the cars will get old at the same time. And if you do not have the capacity to maintain or to keep them, you're already in trouble. They can't pay school fees. Cash flow is money to do everything you need to do every day, not for the wedding ceremony. So marrying the son of a rich man is not your solution. Seek to find the bone of your bone who can accommodate the vision and the ambition in your heart as a person, who can be an enabler for you to emerge, who can encourage and support you. It might not look like it right now, but just understand that people manifest in what? In seasons. Don't allow anybody to deceive you. Look for a man that fears the Lord, a man who is responsible and right thinking. He has vision and he has ambition. I guarantee you, he will show up somewhere and you will be glad you met him. There are many that have seemed like it when we were young. Many of those that seemed like it did not emerge to be it. So you cannot tell who this person will become. But you can test his character, his person, his commitment, his truthfulness, his love for you, and his ability to hold and to encourage you. Especially for the girls, I'm talking to you now. Listen to me. God made them what? Male and female. Every promise of God is for you as it is for the male. God meant for you to fully manifest the best of yourself. Otherwise, guess how it affects our nation? Our population statistics will show you. Women are what? 49.5. Men are what? 50.
I cut it off because there's so much to talk about. Money doesn't bring happiness. What brings happiness in life is love and understanding, communication. A lot of people go into relationship because of money. And if that money is not available for their use again, they left that relationship. They will abandon everything that they have worked for and put together there on care attitude and walk out of it. One of it. There has to be shared values. There has to be shared values. That is the foundation of a very good relationship. Both of you must be able to share value between each other, reinforce it. Simple things such as consensus on the numbers of children you want or live in. When you when you want to create a conducive environment, how many children, for example, you must be able to decide how many children. Not one of you wanted one and the other one saying I want 10, I want 7. You don't have shared values. You don't have the same understanding of what life is having for you. Both of you have different values, you know, because the person that needed one child has reason. But you that want 5 or 6, you have not even communicate and share it among yourself. The reason why he wants 1, the reason why you want 4, 5. You see? So you can see what my lady said there. You can see this is a woman that I have so much respect for. There has to be willingness to invest in relationship. A lot of people are not ready to invest their time, and time is crucial in relationship. You cannot afford to be selfish when it comes to putting in a relationship. So when you want to select your life partner for marriage, your brain, yourself, everything about you must be ready and say, I'm going into it. A relationship is a two-way street. It is not a one-way road. It's a two-way street, which means that it crosses like this. So each party must be able to determine to make the relationship work. You have vowed that your children will never grow without you. I have vowed that I will never leave my children. Isn't it going to work in the end that both of us need to compromise? Because at the end of the day, if you look at the ideology, he has vowed that he will never let his children grow out of his sight, except if he died. And I have vowed that I will never leave my kids anywhere I'm going. They go with me. See how it works. So it's because they both have the same understanding and they are both determined that whatever is going to take, they are going to make this relationship work. Safe in the situation of domestic violence. So you must be able to select a person who will be able to allocate time for you and demonstrate concern for your needs. Sometimes there are so many relationships that the one partner is having problem and is discussing it, and the other one pretend as if he doesn't understand or she doesn't even understand what is going on. I am going to open phone line. I want you to share your experience. I want people to learn from this. No one's supposed to be forced into a relationship. Marriage is not do or die. Marriage is a willingness by two parties to be ready in their mind and heart and ready to invest and everything into it. So it's not something that you have to say, hey, I must do or die, and the other person is not ready. Two people are cutting, one have the mind to get married to. The other one doesn't have the spirit and say, listen, let me just play the game and get out of it. So you have to be able to select a person who allocates time for you and demonstrate concern for your needs. Choosing a life partner needs you to choose an honest life partner. Honest. Underline the word honest. Honest life partner. If you don't have somebody who is honest as a life partner, you are going to be dense. You are going to be ruined. Everything that you have worked for in your life will just go down the rail. Because the person you are dealing with is not honest. Inside him or her, there is a game being played. But you have put everything that you have inside it. If a relationship is enshrined in a culture of honest and trust, it will definitely work. If it's not enshrined, it will fail. A relationship that does not enshrine, that does not be inside a culture of honesty and trust, is not going to last. It's going to fail. Now, someone go to work, for example, coming from work, and go to girlfriend or boyfriend's house and then come back to home and tell the other partner that he or she worked late or the manager delayed her or him at work, of course you're lying. It's not honest. So it's not going to last. Because for how long you're going to be doing it? I have had series of young ladies that trusted me and work under me, take advice from me, that I have realized that they have dead relationship. Some of them had dead relationship as a result of one of them not being honest. Today alone, I have managed to talk to 2 males in the office today. 2 males. They're not females at this time. They are males. One left before I start this program to come and cry on my shoulder. The basis of his cry is known to me. Because if a woman is not seeing someone else, he won't hate you. She won't hate you. But when a woman starts seeing someone else, you become nobody to him. And if a man starts seeing someone else, you become nobody to her. So if it's him, you become nobody to him. If it's her, you become nobody to her. Let's put it that way. He came and cried and said to me that he has done everything he could in his power. But it seems that things is not working and they've got 5 children together. Before I even opened my mouth, I heard it in my ears that she hates him and hates his God. And she wants to end that relationship at all cost. I asked question, what did you do? He said nothing. But don't let me deceive you. 2 of them are not compatible anymore and they are ready. She's ready to stop the relationship after 5 children. She's not happy. She hates him and hates his God. In today's marriage, there are so many things that make people hate each other in their relationship. If money is not floating, that is the liquid cash. If it's not coming through and the other person thinks that something is happening somewhere, then there's going to be a problem. Money is the root of all evil. And once money is missing, that relationship is going to have problem. Now, to build a culture of honesty and trust relationship, both of you need to be open and genuine in your communication, which is very important. Both of you need to be open and genuine. If you're not open and genuine in your relationship, it's going to be... Every time he comes home, he discusses his work problem with you, you are busy thinking of something else. Or she comes home and talk about the problem she faced with her manager at work, and the manager is a he. And every time she talks to you about it, you close your ears on her. You never discuss the matter. You never even gave advice. You never even respond. I can't manage such a man. Every topic that I deal with, apart from law, that is on chat like this, on a talk show like this, I always discuss it with my husband. He will scrutinize my topic before I put it to the public. Because what my husband is trying to make sure that I do in my job is that I must always have respect for all parties that I work with, whether male or female, whether gay or lesbian, whether black or white, whether short or tall, whether fat or slim, whether single or married. I must always afford to accord with them all the time and have respect for them in everything I do. That is his primary objective. So before I put my topic out there, he will have scrutinized it for me and said, listen, take this out and put this in. Take this out and put this in. This topic is done in Nigeria flyer, but we have to send it back to England because he has already arrived in England. So we send it back to England for him to correct it and make sure that he's happy. He's the one that spotted the date and said, go and put the date there. Let people know it's going to take place on the 18th of May. At 2 p.m. Because when we did the first flyer, we only say Saturday. We didn't say 18th. That is what you need. Somebody that can guide you. Your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad in that relationship. There is no relationship that is perfect, but that communication is what is lacking in most of the relationship. When you are not feeling up to it and you are not happy, you should be able to open up to your partner, your friend. That's your friend in the house. And say, listen, I am not happy with what you said to me last night. I am not happy with that joke. Or I am not happy in the way we did it. I wasn't satisfied. A lot of people don't satisfy. They don't get sex. They are not satisfied sexually at once on bed, but they fail to discuss it. A lot of people, many that I know of, they can't do it at once and enjoy it. Meanwhile, some men, by the time they do one, they are tired. They are off already because they are just lazy. And when a man is shocking here, of course you are going to be tired. You cannot go for so many rounds anymore because you have too many girlfriends. And a woman that is flamboyantly out there will not be able to get the satisfaction with one man easily as well. So that's a big problem, a big gap in the society, in a relationship of today. It's a big gap. Parties must be able to communicate and see where they can blend it and see where they can get things right. If they are not open and genuine to each other, they're going to have problem. That relationship is not going to last. It's still down to communication. That is the thing. Now, consider a life partner keen on your life. You can see what my lady said earlier on. It is very important that you choose the right candidate, the right person for yourself. If you're looking at today's pocket and say, how am I going to... It's not everybody's going to be lucky like Shadi Okoya. It is not everybody that's going to get what Shadi Okoya got. And don't forget, there are some people that have picked somebody from their day one and they end up becoming bigger, both of them. Folarunsho Alakija, till today's date, mommy and daddy are still together. And they started together and they have those boys together. But she will never bring her husband to the public because there was no need to bring her husband to anybody because nobody chose her husband for her. And the same way, the way I do my things, like Diana Ross. No one choose my husband for me, so I shouldn't bring my husband to public arena to be ridiculed for anybody. That is very important. In most relationships of today, people are very careless with what they do. They think they can show off everything. It is not everything you show off. If you have 10 things, you only show 1 or 2 to people to see. And that's because you want to show it to them. You don't have to show the rest of 8 of it to them. It is none of their business. You are an adult. You must be able to handle things in your home without a need to bring it to the public. When it comes to choosing a life partner, there are some quality things you have to look for. But at the same time, above all, I said earlier on, you must be able to have a relationship with God. Because it's the only one that can lead you without deceiving you. Parents can lead you wrong. Because out of their own selfish interest, they can lead you wrong. Because they are looking for a society wedding to make it flamboyantly bigger. A wedding between a governor's son and a minister of finance daughter. A wedding between a bank manager or director and a commissioner's son. That doesn't bring happiness. You are looking for somebody that when you are pretending and say, I have a headache, he's going to bring you your paracetamol or Panadol in bed and a cup of tea to go with it and say, Mba, show otilo tablets. That's what you are looking for. That is what you're looking for. You're not looking for self-interest of your parents to make them happy and make yourself sad at the end of the day. So if you're willing to go into a long-term relationship, then both of you must be able to show genuine support for your ambitions and goals in life. So you must be able to open up and talk to each other I am a lawyer, my husband is an accountant. I have always said to myself, I will not marry anything less than a professional, because we will be able to communicate easily. I have always know what I wanted. But I've already said to myself, I will not marry anything less than a professional person. And what matches my career most, is an accountant. Because I am not a medical doctor to marry a midwife or a nurse. And I'm not a nurse to marry a medical doctor that we can change our shift. You must know what you are looking for. Forget about the needs of your parents. They have done very well to send you to school. But anything other than that, choosing your career, choosing your partner is boiled down to you yourself, not to them anymore. You go for someone who makes you happy, not someone who makes them happy. Because they have lived their life. So one must not get carried away. If you're somebody who's very ambitious, flamboyantly, you're high academically, then you'll be looking for somebody from that angle that will understand you as well. I am not saying that being a doctor, you cannot marry to an hairdresser. If God made it way, but it doesn't common. It's not a common thing. I have checked some of my medical doctor clients. Ask them questions. Their wives could be either a pharmacist, a chemist, a nurse, or a midwife. That's what they marry to. I have checked almost 10, 15 of them that I worked for. And said, listen, what does your wife do for a living? It's a pharmacist. She's a pharmacist. It is so impossible to marry to someone that doesn't have the same thinking of yours and doesn't come from your level. There's no way you can last with it. Because, for example, if you're a medical doctor and your wife is a hairdresser, a doctor will be calling on shift all the time. If she doesn't understand the realm of how it works in hospitals, in the medical profession, medical line, of course she's going to have problems, because you'll be thinking that every time you're on shift, you are going for girlfriends. So you're going to be having headache to cater for that area. Complain. Complain in relationship can ruin it. Every time complain, where are you coming from? Every time complain, you are late. Every time complain. Look at me. Once I sit down with my husband and say, listen, dear, I need to travel to Nigeria. I have some things to do there. He prayed for me in his heart. But he doesn't tell me that I shouldn't go, because he knows it's my line of work, my career, our investment. And when you are in marriage, in relationship, whatever you achieve inside it, it's not you alone anymore. It's for both parties. But some relationship, out of self-interest, they get carried away and hide things from their partner. Some will even be building houses and hide it from their wife or hide it from their husband. I can't do it, because on the day there is a problem, you will need somebody to check it with, to discuss with. And if you don't discuss it with him from the beginning and you are in problem, serve you right. Maybe you think you are smart. Everything I discuss with my husband, nothing on this planet I don't tell my husband. Everything. Because I know when I am in trouble, he will smell it and say, trouble ni. And he always smells trouble for me when I am in trouble. When I'm going to get into trouble, when I move with people. He will know it before me and say, this thing that Tokunbo is doing, this person is not genuine. First and foremost, my husband doesn't trust people. So as a result of that, he always smells things from far distance and say, you're genuine. This person is not genuine. This person is following you because of your money. This person have monetary interest in you. This person doesn't love you dearly. This person is fake. My husband will have seen it. That's the second eyes. He will have seen it from back and said, listen, Tokunbo, be careful. Talks, you have to be careful. This person is not real. And he has never told me anything that never come to pass. Because both of us communicate. And we've managed to understand each other over the years. over the years. Relationship does not grow overnight. It grows over the years. There will be turbulence, there will be cry, there will be laugh, there will be everything there. But as time goes on, it now becomes things of as if you're just making jest of each other. They are not just become brothers and sisters and understand each other. But people think it's something that they can force themselves into it or something that can happen overnight at all. In your relationship, you must have an ability to cope with your family because you need the supporting system of your family in your life. Your family will always be a key support in your life. But then you have to be careful what you listen to them. Because some of your family members, out of jealous, enviness, they can easily tell you that, oh, one, like Ele, I don't like this person. Because they're thinking that they are taking their son away from them or they are taking their daughter away from them. So out of jealousy, or they might be thinking that, oh, she's going to be bigger than us, or he's going to be bigger, or even brother-in-law can be saying that, oh, he's going to be bigger in his mind. And as a result of that, create problem for that young man. A young guy came to see me before I traveled into Nigeria. He came to see me in England and came to report his brother-in-law to me. You'll be shocked what the brother-in-law does to him, always do to him. Not even does, always. So you do it all the time to him because of jealousy. You know where people will take your name out to go and check whether you are going to be bigger than them. Once you marry to that family or they married or you marry their brother or their sister, what they did first is that they want to go and check your star. They want to go and check your destiny to see whether you are going to become bigger. As soon as they know that this is the type of person you are, they create war for themselves without you, not you that they create war for. Because when you create war in that manner, you're not going to eat from the fruit of your labor because your labor is your brother, your sister, your son, your daughters. And when you hate his wife or his husband or her husband, you are going to create problems for yourself. You're not going to be able to have access. Even though they might need your support, but you're not going to have access because you have failed yourself to give that full support to them when they are going into a relationship out of self-interest. Ability to cope is very important in relationship. Ability. Another thing people fail to do is that they don't assess the intellectual level of their partner. Some people are not educated, but they are highly intellectual. They are not highly educated, but they are highly intellectual. And when you deal with people that are highly intellectual, they will sell you with every penny in your pocket. They will sell you and resell you and resell you and repurchase you. They don't have to be highly educated. But once you are able to assess their intelligence, highly intellectual level of your partner is very important for you to assess it. It's not about blowing grammars. Some people think that when they blow grammar, anybody can blow grammar. Forget. Anybody can take a grammar book and start practicing and blow it. I have assessed many of my staff in the past. When they finish from law school and they come to work with me in my office, I realize that they cram it academically, but practically they cannot put it in practice. So I have to start training them all over again. A lot of people are like that. They can blow grammars, but when it comes to putting it in practice, they are nowhere to be found. Intellectually, they are not strong, they are not smart. They cannot even cope. So you got to assess the level of your partner's mind and brain. Intellectual. I can think around the clock. I am not perfect, but I can think around the clock. When you give me one question, I will always try as much as possible to have about 6 answers to it. That's the way my father trained me. So that I will not be caught by surprise. It is so important that you assess the intellectual level of your partner. A clever girl cannot marry a dumb boy. It's not possible because that's your life. That's the decision of life that you want to make for yourself. So there is no way you want to come stood low and come and marry somebody that his or her brain is so shallow. His thinking is so out of this world. He does not match yours. So what are we talking about? You don't have anything in common. And having said that again, a lot of single girls and single boys of today's days are still waiting for Mr. Right and Mrs. Right. Whereas they are nowhere. There is nothing called Mr. Right or Mrs. Right. But I will tell you that they are still waiting. And as a result of that, a young girl is still 30, 34 in her mother's house, still looking, she's saying. Because she's looking for a perfect man and she's so scared to go into a relationship. Again, the fault of their parents into it as well. The fault of parents, especially mothers, they scare kids up too much. I understand, like myself, we have to train them and take them to a certain level. But after a certain level, you've got to say, Mofalorun sure. Eternity Omorogbe. Like my ex blow grammar for me and I fell in love. Where am I today? I'm doomed. You see? Eternity Omorogbe said that. So intellectually, you got to assess the level. But then again, young girls and young lads of today's day, they fail to go into a relationship because they're scared. There's no commitment. They're very scared. And they're earning good salary. Some of them are on 60,000 pounds a year, 70,000, 50,000 at their age. But they're single. Arrogance is part of it. No humility. A lot of ladies and girls of today's day don't want to subdue themselves. They don't want to calm down. They don't want to respect a man. And many men of today's day, many young lads are so arrogant as well. They fail to know that I am a brother to her. I am older. Let me treat her like my baby sister. Let me cuddle her. Let me take care of her. What if she's my baby sister? They fail to realize that. Relationship will only last if parties are able to understand each other very well, communicate. And the only way you can get that right is to know the intellectual level of each person. If you don't know the intellectual level, then you're wasting your time. So many times I laugh, I smile, because some men from United Kingdom, and I'm sure from diaspora rather, they will travel to their village and go and get a wife. Because they are saying that, oh my, better off, that person will be better off than somebody who has already been exposed. You are deceiving yourself. A local girl will always behave local. And when they want to become social, local person, you will not be able to handle it because they do it out of rage. So it is better to deal with person of your caliber. There is no way on this planet you can just take things out of context without even checking it carefully, assess each other's brain level, understanding, communication. A lot of people will be saying, oh, I love your stature, mama. That's what I'm looking for. How can you be looking for my stature? How can you be looking for my stature? How can you be looking for my stature? I have met so many guys on ground that they will tell me that this is the type of thing that I want for my lady. But it's not possible. Your lady is not me. And I'm not your lady. I have worked and my husband have worked so hard for me to get to this stage. So you get what you want. I take what I get. What God puts to your front is what your destiny wants for you. You have to play with it and get along with it. It is so impossible to say that that's what I want when you are already inside one already. It's not possible. God is not blind. And God never make mistake. It is us out of our selfishness, our greediness, our everything that makes us go into wrong relationship. Because we're looking for tall man, handsome man, full in the pocket, this and this. But what about his attitude? What about his infidelity? Can you cope? I can't cope with a man that goes out with many women every time, have many girlfriends. I can't cope with him. Disgust me. After he has slept with many women and come and get the dirty thing and put it in your body again, how are you going to cope? I can't cope with a dirty man like that. And I will not expect likewise accept a man. I ask a man to cope with a woman that sleep around as well. That one man does not satisfy. I will not ask a man to cope with such a lady. When you find out where lady's mistake and you find out lady weakness and you discover that this is the way she does her life, she sleeps around, she's nobody, she's this, she's that. What you need to do is to smoothly cut it down and find your way out of that dirty relationship before it gets messy. I can't. And that is why I drop everything I have inside it. Don't get me wrong. A man can do anything without you knowing. That is fine. Respect. That is fine. Respect. But the intellectual level of each partner is very important so that both of you will be communicating from the same angle. You can cope. I can cope. So it means that both of us are communicating in a way that no mistake, no dirty thing. Oh, yes. So if you look at it, another thing people fail to understand is that both of you must be able to view things and reason almost from the same standpoint. You must be able to say things. For example, there are many couples that if they are invited for a marriage quiz, they will never pass. If they are invited for marriage quiz or even boyfriend and girlfriend, fiancé and fiancé that are courting and they are getting married very soon, and you invite them for 10 questions alone, they will fail it because they don't know each other. You don't know the size of your husband's head circumference for cap. You don't know the size of your husband's shoes. You don't even know the color of the car. You don't know the type of car he loves. You don't even know the boxer he wears. You don't know the type of brush he uses. You don't even know anything about him. Tell me how you want to cope. It is outsiders that are giving you information that you are using. So how are you going to cope? How are you going to cope? So, both of you must always be able to think almost from the same standpoint. Same point, same area, same angle. I remember someone asked me a question and asked my husband the same question from far distance. My husband was in Dubai at that time. I was in England. And somebody called and asked my husband a question and asked me a question. I didn't know that they have already asked my husband. He answered it and I answered the question. And we gave the same answer. And the person came back and said, did you tell each other that I'm going to call you? I said, no. But why is your answer so close and so rhyme and so on point? Almost the same thing without any blemish. Because we've known each other. We've been living together for 20-something years now. So of course we have to know each other. Most marriage of today don't know each other. And that's why they have problem. Some relationships are dent as a result of, I want this. No, I don't want this. One wants it. The other one don't want it. So, of course, it's going to be dent in the end. One wants this, and the other one says, no, I don't want it. Let me take you to another beautiful journey. For example, if you are a pretend SU person that says, oh, I'm an SU, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't party, I always like to do, you do your scarf and go and just go to Bible class all the time. And then, sister, Oluwagbadura, God bless you. God bless you. You are a fake person. You are a fake person. Because you are doing that, God bless you, you are doing it for the purpose of hurting somebody else in the house. So what kind of God bless you is that? So you are fake, you're not real, you're not genuine, and you don't communicate from the same point. Because that's not what your husband wanted. Your husband is a Christian, he goes to church, but at the same time, he loves sex. He loves to enjoy his marriage, he loves to be social, he loves to go to party, but you don't. You just want to do God bless you. God bless you. It's not going to last. You're going to have problem. Because God always bless us in marriage, in every relationship, in everything we do, if we are honest. God is not man. So he has already blessed us. That's why he put us out there. So we should not deceive ourselves with the word, God bless you. God bless you all the time. No. Because you are a Christian doesn't mean you must not have sex. Because you are a Christian doesn't mean you must not cuddle your husband. Because you are a Christian doesn't mean that you shouldn't say my husband, my wife, my husband. It doesn't mean you shouldn't say that. No pastor will come out and say you shouldn't say my husband, or you shouldn't talk about sex. It's another integral thing that you need in your relationship. Lawyer just tap into her Britishness with that God bless you. Do you understand? A lot of marriage have dents today. A lot of relationship have dents, and a lot of marriage ended within few months because they don't know each other. They deceive each other. A lot of them find each other in church when they are saying brother and sister, brother and sister, brother and sister. As time goes on, the other one bring out his or her true color. But the other one insisted and keep us doing the Bible class study. Bible class study. We're not saying you shouldn't go to Bible studies. No one said you shouldn't go to Bible class. But then you need to understand what your partner wants. You have not even cooked the food in the house. You have not even got the food ready. And you are taking a mother to do the food all the time for you. You are having a slave. Yeah, a maid in the house to do the cooking all the time. One day, you are going to go missing and your husband is going to have sex with your maid. Because he will not be able to take it anymore and he doesn't want to go out so that you will not be asking where is he. What he's going to do is that he's going to sleep with your maid in the house and impregnate your maid. Kedukon. So what would you do? What would you do? What would you do? Because you have not left your old adage, your old ideology, your old way of doing things when you first met in the choir, in the meeting, in the Bible class, in the Corinthians meeting. You have not left your old way, but the day is moving every day. So we are changing. Things have changed. If you look at 90s when we came to England, there was no communication of this type. Things have changed, erode. It has eroded in a way that things have changed drastically. The modern technology, modern day, modern things. If anyone says, I'm going to wear this kind of styles, in 90s, I'll tell you are lying because it looks like a male style. Look, look, look. I sewed it from my husband tailor. It was my husband tailor that sewed this style for me. It was my husband tailor that sewed this style in Nigeria because they were doing my husband's style. And I saw the catalog for female. And I said, okay, can you do the female one? And he said, Mommy, of course I can. And my husband said, why don't you do this style, do this style, do this style? And I said, it looks like a male one. And my husband said, no, it's not male, it's for female. But in the 90s, I would never do it because I don't fancy it. It looks like a male one. But now the time has come. It's gone fast. It's like we have opened it and we are fasting the clock. We're fasting everything, so it's going forward. And if you don't move with the time will move you out of the way. You understand? If you don't move with the time will push you out of the way. We will leave you behind and we'll continue moving forward. That is why they say, I want my make anima jemimaye. How can you jemimaye? How can you jemimaye? Before a 21-year-old think of it, I've already passed that thinking. Before a 25-year-old girl think of anything, I've already worked on it and passed behind that 25-year-old person. So how can you jemimaye? How can you jemimaye? You have to move with the time. A lot of marriage have problem, relationship have problem today because it can't be agbalagba. The man is still living young, and why the woman thinking that she's old? After you've got all the children, you're supposed to start looking after yourself and put yourself properly in a better position that you would have been had you still single. You dress as if you are still young. And that is why your age will always look younger than your normal age, because you're not looking it. When you don't think it, you don't look it. When you think it, you look it. We are moving forward. So time is not waiting for anyone. And a lot of the marriages that have problems today is because one is still backward. And the other one is taking knowledge, or she's taking knowledge from elsewhere. It is so important. So important that individuals are able to communicate with each other. They understand each other. If they're not able to communicate and understand the needs and wants, there's going to be a problem. It's going to be a big problem. So, you have to nurture a great friendship first for it to last. First of all, both of you have to be friends. You have to be a friend. If you are not friends to each other, you are not going to last. Because you have to be a friend of each other. And be your brother's keeper and your sister's keeper. That's the first thing you have to have. If you don't have that, you are jokers. This Nigeria that we went, I laughed my head off. In fact, my father laughed his head off. Because me and my husband, the way we talk, the way we do things, my father just look and laugh. Unlike when we were under pressure, still bringing children up. That laughable matter is not there, because we're under pressure thinking of the childminder, when to wake up in the morning to take the kids to the childminder, how to bring them from school, how to drop them. The pressure was there. But it has changed. It has changed in a way that we are now friends. The pressure has calmed down drastically. You've got to be friends to each other to be able to get to your destination. For example, now, if it's another man now, he will be fighting and angry. I always find in the midst of men. Men are my friends because I trusted men than women. So I'm always finding in the midst of friends. And that is why you see Alhaji Akande Obesere in my midst. You see Bobby in my midst. It is their wife that will end up come to me. I'm not going to them. Because their husband are my friends. So àwọn ìyàwó wọn ló gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ wípé ọ̀rẹ́ ọkọ wa ni woman yẹn jẹ́, kò ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú wọn other than friends. Because ọkùnrin lèmi máa fi ń ṣe ọ̀rẹ́ jù. They are reliable, they are trustworthy, they can give advice, they can talk, and they will not disappoint you. But when you don't understand that kind of system from that angle, the way my husband understood me, I know that bó ṣe máa ń káwọn ọ̀rẹ́ tiẹ̀, bó ṣe máa ń ní wọn nìyẹn. But I deal with them at distance. I have not seen Alhaji Akande Obesere since we finished the chieftaincy title on that day. Tati tèmi àti ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ti kúrò ńbẹ̀, àti everybody tati lọ tó kákú ti kúrò ńbẹ̀. But I still communicate him because he's my friend. I have not even said Bobby Eku le láti jẹta tí mo ti dé àbí àti jẹrin, but he's my friend. I make friends with he better than she because they are trustworthy, they are reliable, they are confident. And my husband understands that this is my lifestyle. Toro mo wípé mi ò ní stood low láti máa sùn pẹ̀lú wọn kò lè ṣẹlẹ̀. Kí ni wọ́n ní tí mi ò ní? Ọlọ́run má mú wa. What makes you sleep with men or women sleep with men around is because of lack of confidence, and they don't have good jobs, they don't have good professions, they don't have money, and it's insecurity. That is another area that I will be coming to deal with later on in life, but not now anymore. The relationship, what can keep it going is what is important in our life. Understand? That is what can keep it going in our life. And if people don't understand you from the angle you are coming from, that is their problem. That is their problem. Because when you have them as your friend, you'll be able to take advice at all costs. Understand? You'll be able to take advice. And the level of advice you take depends. So you revert to your man, he reverts to you. You communicate. So you have to be each other's keeper. Each other's keeper. If you're not each other's keeper, you're going to find your relationship in. So it is very important. So you have to be friends. So, and you must be able to demonstrate love, pure love to each other. It has to be purely based on choice as opposed to any need. Love. Another one thing I want to remind you of is anger management. One of you can have anger, the other one might be so quiet and have the agility to just watch and see things folding. Just watch and see things folding. You understand? Stop. Who is this? Okay. So you just got to, you know, I don't want anyone to distract me with their writing up there, because I will still block you if you write anything derogatory. So just prepare your mind. If you write anything derogatory to anybody, I will block you off when I come back to do the readings. So that's another thing. Anger management. Anger management. Anger management. Anger management. You know, anger management. You must be able to manage each other very well. One of you can have that anger in him or her, and the other one can be very calm. So it is very important that you should be able to manage each other very well. So you have to be your brother's keeper, your sister's keeper. You know, so it's very, very important. It's very important. You must be able. A relationship involves two people with unique personalities, different personalities. You know, a relationship involves two people with unique. At times, you might have ugly arguments in which negative emotions are high. You might say hurtful things about one another. When both of you are in anger, you know, you are not happy with each other. Anything can happen. Anything can blow from the mouth. That is why when you are angry, it's either you keep quiet and walk away and don't say things and shut down everything. Because whatever you say out at the time of anger could affect you. And in the court of law, we always advise in criminal law, the police will say, you do not have to say anything now. Anything you say now may be used against you in the court of law. It's the same thing. So when you want to say something, get your lawyer on ground, so that your lawyer will be there and tell you that give no comment answer. Because if you don't give no comment answer and you go into it and just give an answer, you will not be able to take it back in the court of law. It's said and it's done and it's dusted. So it is very, very important that you're careful of what you say in a situation like that, when emotion is high. Because in the negative emotions, you have to be very careful of what comes out of your mouth. It can go against you. Your partner may be one of those that keep malice. Malice in terms of keeping things in mind and be laughing with you and not telling you. That's not a good relationship. If you are not happy, you say it out straight away. Oh, me, they like to so any argument, or I'm not happy with what you said yesterday. It's true that we have our differences, but I'm not really happy. Oh, so sorry, Mabinu. It was in the time of exchange of words. So it's very important. It is very, very important. You might say hurtful things about one another. How your potential life partner reacts to anger reveals a lot about future reactions. You see, if your partner is someone that reacts to anger or reacts to things that doesn't have the sense of humor, you are in danger. Because sense of humor is very important in relationship, and take mic on each other. You have to be able to take mic. Because if you can't take mic at each other and you just talk and somebody and the other person just take it serious and say, oh, like it, then that's a problem somewhere. There is a problem somewhere. There is a problem somewhere. There is a problem somewhere. Sense of humor is very important to be able to take jest. Can you let you take a mora? If you can't take jest, can you take yeah, you are in trouble. Your relationship is going to have problem. Because that means that every time you say something, you have to check your words. For example, me, I can't chat with somebody that hold words. And that's why I don't chat with people anyhow. I don't chat with people in a way that I don't want you to hold on to my words. Because once I say things, I move on. I don't keep malice, I don't keep grudge. But I'm not the kind of character that run after people and make friends easily. But I don't keep grudge. I have a plain heart, my heart is clear. But if you are the kind of caliber that once something is said, you hold on to it. Umba. You cannot be serious all the time. You cannot afford to be serious. So how your partner, your life partner reacts is very important. And that talks a lot about your future. That will talk a lot. If your prospective life partner cannot handle anger well, the situation can get out of control when you get married. The situation can get out of control when you get married. And it's so important that you should be able to handle situations and avoid taking each other's words seriously. Because if you're taking it seriously, you're going to have problem when you get married to each other. You're going to have problem. So that is why it is very important that you are friends first. You know each other. You have to be friends. Yeah, you must be a friend to each other. If you're not, then one thing I learned from some of the people that I counsel, some of the people that come to me for counsel, is that they don't have ability to forgive and forget. Ability to forgive and forget is very important. If you cannot forgive people, you are not a human being. You are inhuman. Ability to forgive is very important in everything we do in life, because we must offend each other. It's a must. We must offend each other. Someone like me, nobody is always offend me. I just pack my bag and move away before it becomes nonsense. But that does not mean that I will see you tomorrow. I won't greet you. I won't embrace you. I won't like you. But at least I will not give you that opportunity to hurt me again. So it is very important that you have the ability to forgive and forget. Some relationships are in debt because they cannot forgive each other. At what length would you say forgiveness is crucial? What is the damage? The damage control, has it been done? Because the level of the damages is very important. But ability to forgive. If you are one of those that doesn't have the spirit to forgive and forget, you're going to have a very rough relationship. It's not going to last. Because every time you see him, you hate his guts. Or every time you see her, you hate her guts. Because she has stepped on toes. She has done something that hurts your feelings. But what can he or she do to have made you decide, come in a way that you will not be able to forgive? That is what you have to look at. At what point would you say, I will never forgive you? At what stage would you say, I will never forgive her? At what stage would you say, I will never forgive him? Because closely related to anger management skills is your partner's ability to forgive and forget. Love does not always revolve around sex alone. Love does not always revolve around sex, kissing, and other intimate stuff. Arguments are deemed to occur in one way or another. It's prone. There's no way two people can work together without arguments. There's no way two people can do things together without having needs to offend each other. You should know that you will offend each other at any time. You should know. But the ability to forgive is what is crucial, that makes you stand out, that makes you important, that makes you shows that you are in a good relationship. A lot of people have failed in that realm. I counseled a lady about a few weeks back, and basically what she told me is that her husband impregnates another person, another lady out there. And basically what she said is that unless the rain will turn to hot water, she will never forgive. Now, I'm in a kind of a difficult situation at that time with that statement, and the dilemma there is that how would I handle this situation? She trusted her husband diligently, carefully, 100% trust. The husband betrayed the trust. The husband have affairs outside. And during that affairs, the person got pregnant. And they refused to abort the pregnancy and brought the baby to life. There is a marriage here. There is a marriage here. The case came to my desk. And she said to me that, forget it, Lawyer Tokunbo. She said to me, forget it, Lawyer Tokunbo. I will not forgive him in my lifetime. I cried. Inside me, I shed tears. Because I was looking from an angle where I can handle that matter professionally and out of professional level, be a sister to her at the same time, and see how I can advise, how I can embrace the situation, how I can mend it. It was so difficult for me. It was really, really difficult for me to handle. Because she was crying and I was shedding tears. Because by the time everything was narrated, what she has put into the relationship, all she has done, I shed tears for her. But at the same time, I still have a stake in it and say, listen, I will not still advise that you should leave for now. I still stood my ground and said, listen, I will not advise that you should leave for now. I will not advise that you should leave for now. Now, although he has betrayed the trust you placed in him, and it was a huge trust, and it let you down, but I will not still advise that you should leave for now. Let's look whether there will be another mistake. Let's give benefit of doubt. That benefit of the doubt is what is crucial. So I'm trying to use my position in all ramifications to see if I can hold that relationship down and say, hold on a minute for me. Give me chance now. It is me you are giving chance. Give me chance. Let me see how far I can go with this. Give me chance. Let's undo it. Let's do it this way. Believe me, it's a hard thing. It's very hard. She was crying. I also shed tears. Because I'm a woman. I took it from that angle. It was hard. Because during this period that he went out to impregnate, they've done so many things together. I love you. I kiss you. I do this with you. And they were okay in bed. They were okay in everything. But that is where that problem comes from. When some men cannot take their eyes off, that brought him into that mistake that he regrets it, and he's going to regret it for the rest of his life. There is nothing called illegitimate child, but there is illegitimate child-in-law. When you pieces the word marriage and the certificate attached, paperwork attached to it, a child born outside will also be called illegitimate. But they're saying there's nothing called illegitimate because he holds them, holds that one, and also holds those one in the house. So he will not be illegitimate, but it is illegitimate outside marriage. So it's a difficult one. At the moment as we speak, I am still trying to use my power, my position to see if I can still calm things down. But it's still hot. I'm only discussing for the first time on public here. But I didn't discuss it with anyone because it's hot at the moment. It's really getting hot. Because every time she sees him now, she hated his guts. Orin lára gidi ni ó ń wò pé ìdọ̀tí àná. But I'm the one that's saying, okay, give me chance. Relax yourself. Calm down first. Should we send you on holiday? Do you want to travel out of the country? Can we take you out of holiday? Get out of the country and let's see how we can control things. But believe me or not, it's a difficult one. It is a difficult one. A lot of things is happening in our society, today. Especially in the modern day society. So when you want to place it and say forgive and forget, at what point are you going to forgive? At what point are you going to say forget? There are some wounds that can never be healed. Baby is fine. Baby is alive. Baby is born already. Baby is kicking. Baby is fine. He's remorseful. He's begging. You know, when things happen like this, all you have is Iṣẹ́ Èṣù ni, the work of Satan. Even though why both of them are having that sex, because the work of Satan, one don't gbádùn ara wọn ni o. But at the end of the day, what you will hear is Iṣẹ́ Èṣù ni, the work of is the devil's work. You see, devil, I feel sorry for devil. I feel sorry for devil because in every ramification, he get the blame. In everything that go wrongs in this world, devil get the blame. Even though sometimes, it is not even his fault. It is us individually that knows what we are doing when we go into it. But unfortunately for devil, he's got to carry the dirty rag. He's got to carry it. So he will have to get the blame in the end and say, listen, I take the blame again as usual. Because you will never hear that Iṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run is the work of God. No. It's the devil's work it claimed. And that's how it's going to be for life. Devil is always going to share that blame. So to get that ability, it's so difficult to forgive and forget. What is important is that you should have a partner that will not be keen to put you on the past. That will not be putting you back on the path. There are some partners that go around the clock like this all the time and keep talking about the past instead of them to move forward. They haven't got the agility and ability to forget and forgive. So they keep going gallivanting and going around the clock and keep talking about the past, But when you don't want to talk about the past, to what extent are you going to forgive and forget? That's a difficult one to discuss. I leave you with that. But the ability not to dwell on the past is very important. Ability not to dwell on disagreement that happened in the past. Because a lot of people continue to go on the past. They don't have the ability to move it forward. And it is very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. You must always consider the right purity test. This test entails a set of, have you questions that you're supposed to give yes or no to in your response. Ability to have that right purity test. When your partner asks questions, you must be able to answer in an affirmative way with respect. Either you are a he or you are she. A lot of people are very rude in their relationship. They are very rude and arrogant. Some of you could be saying that because you earn more money, and as a result of that, you think you have owned the world. No, it doesn't come like that. And a lot of men think that because they have nice stature, they are slim and straight, they are good looking. Girls are looking onto them, so they look down onto their mama in the house. Don't you see the way she was when you get married to her, or the way she is when you married to her? Don't you know that? You've got to be able to consider so many things when it comes to relationship. I met a guy on Haircraft chatting, and he said, oh, I love your stature, mama. I want my wife to keep to this kind of stature. I said, what for? I said, what for? Why would you want your wife to keep to my stature? What for? So you go home and you start pushing that lady to over the limit. Pushing her to do things over the limit. Just because you want a slim stature. You forgot that slim stature comes in the gene. It doesn't come by going to the gym center. It comes in the gene, not gym. I can't remember the last time I visited my gym. I cannot remember the last year I have gone to the gym center to go and do any exercise. So when you are now taking that and say, I want my wife to look like you, you are passing your bound. You are passing your boundary. Because I don't want my husband to look like you. I want my husband to be who he is. Because what I need from him is what is inside him, not what is outside him. I don't want my husband to look like any man. Forget. I want my husband to be who he is. Olagbaye. Because I don't need his outside. I need his inside. And if he failed inside, then I'm in trouble. But if he still continue to perform inside, ability to perform inside is what you need to move your marriage forward, to move your relationship forward, to enjoy it better. Ability is start from the brain, not the physical aspect of it. I have seen many marriages that are working perfectly despite their disability, despite their handicaps. They are still working perfectly because they are using what is inside, not what is outside. I listen to some stupid comments. Sometimes when I listen, which I'm not interested. And then they will say, oh, I cannot marry a man that is short. Oh, I cannot marry a man that is fat. Oh, I cannot marry a man that is this. Oh, I cannot get a lady that is like this. That is why you are still single. You are looking for Mr. Right or Mrs. Right. Because you don't know what God has given to you. And what God have in plan for you is different from what plan you have for yourself. And if you fail to accord to the plan of God, you will continue to remain the way you are. I cannot marry a man that I'm taller than. I cannot marry a man that is shorter than me. I cannot marry a man that is fatter with us, has a belly. I cannot marry a man that is this, that is that. Or I cannot marry a man that will go only one round in bed. A seal. Absolutely disgusting when I see all those comments. When I read or hear all those kind of comments, they disgust me. They disgust me. Because you have not asked God for the right thing. It is only God that gives us everything that we have. We don't own it. And when God puts things through to you and said, this is the way I want you, if you don't have it, you're not going to have happiness in your life. Happiness comes from God within. And it depends on how you do it. And it depends on how you see it. But when you are too choosy, and you are dictating to God, He gets angry with you and push wrong person to your front. And then you think you're happy. You're not happy. You are just patching. You're patching. You're patching. You're patching. How long are you going to be patching for? You need somebody who understands you very well to have a good relationship. Sometimes I listen to some people will say, oh, Mama Eko, all of a young boy. How can she not go and marry young boy? Because the young boy understands her very well. The young boy understands her very well. Her husband doesn't understand her. So that's why they are not in terms and they separated. So she went for somebody who understands her, who makes her happy. It doesn't matter whether she spends money on him or not. That's not your business. Your business is to face your own because she is happy. And as long as she's happy, she's living her life. That's what she wants. And if he can be happy with a young lady, why can't she be happy with a young man? In my language, they say, if she can be happy with if he can be happy with a young lady, why can't she be happy with a young guy? Tell me, why do you think she doesn't deserve to be happy with somebody younger than her when he is happy with someone that is younger than him? You've got to be happy. So it's vice versa. It's vice versa. What I don't support is when you say, what about the children in that relationship? They're going to suffer. If you women want to do it the way men does it, the children will suffer. You will make those children in the relationship suffer. So you have to use your senses when it comes to using the number 4, number 5, or Blankata code. You've got to use it. What do I need for myself? Let me now return back to the parents of the high-class society before I leave you today. The parents of the high-class society that are so selfish and self-centered. I return diligently back to you because most of the marriages of today that are broken, they were broken because you parents forced them to marry each other. You spent flamboyantly money on the wedding, just as my lady said. But those people are not happy. They're not happy. I see some names coming up and mentioning some celebrities and commenting and asking them things. What about their parents in that mirror? What about their parents? What about their parents? Their parents is aware of what is happening. They don't care. They are just taking the advantage of it. They are mentioning one young lady. I will not mention her name on my platform. They are mentioning her name and said that she's running after a billionaire man. What is her mom doing at the moment? Because her mom is getting the gift. Isn't it? Her mommy is collecting the gift. So, at the end of the day, if she's not happy in that relationship, that is a problem. Because her mother doesn't care about her happiness. What her mother cares for is the gift that she's receiving at the moment. Going on flamboyant holiday. Possibly cars, house, and other expensive Rolex wristwatch, clothes and everything. What about the happiness of that young girl? They've not thought about that young girl. Because that young girl is the same age as my last born. That young girl is the same age as my last born. Now, if she's running after a 59-year-old man, who are we to blame? What does 19-year-old understand into this relationship? What does a 19-year-old girl understand in today's relationship? So you think about her mother first before you blame that girl. Her mother's selfishness and self-centered is what is going to kill that lady, ironically, in the end. A lot of people don't have the mind to wait and see things how it will unfold. They want to get it done. Fast miracle. Fast miracle. They want things to happen overnight. Patience is a virtue. Rome wasn't built in a day. A lot of parents have failed their children in terms of when it comes to relationship and say, they fail Ijebu, you can't marry to Ijebu. They don't marry to each other. You can't marry to Ekiti. You can't marry to Ibadan. Lie. I will not allow you to marry to an Igbo guy. What do you understand by love? What do you understand by relationship? And you start dictating. I even know some mother-in-law to the extent they will say, my son is dark, so my son must marry a fair color lady. How does that work, for God's sake? Cry and loud. How does it work like that? How does it work like that? When you will come out and say, how does it work like that and say your son cannot marry a somebody who is dark in skin because your son is dark already? I know a person said it. And I asked questions is that what will make your son happy in the relationship? She said no. I said, how dare you dictating? How dare you dictating? How dare you dictating and say that your son must marry somebody who is fair in color because your son is dark in skin? Or oponu? And you're not an illiterate, you are well educated. That person, that word coming out of her mouth, that's not the point. I'm also aware of those who will say, oh, they have to marry from my hometown. How dare you? What hometown have you got? How dare you dictating love to people and say they must marry from your hometown? Where's your hometown? I beg your pardon. They must marry the love of their life. They must marry somebody that they love from their heart. So that if there is a problem, there is a mistake, he or she will say, I love her. I love him. Leave him alone. I love him. I love her. That's what you need in the world. And if that word is missing, then there's no relationship. Today is like a cajole. Everybody's just going into it in their own interest. Parents and parents-in-law, because they want to exchange contracts. They want to sign contract. They want to give each other a business deal. So they have to make sure that their children marry to each other so that they will not lose out. How dare you doing that? How dare you doing that? I'm not going to mention names, but I've done quite good research, and I realized that the daughter said to the father that is who I'm going to marry. If you like, come to the wedding. If you don't like, don't come to the wedding. That's your take. They fought it, they fight and fight and fight. After a while, the father calmed down and accepted the relationship, accepted the marriage, because he has no choice. If not, he will lose his daughter. If you insist that your kids must marry certain family, certain people, and that child said, no, I'm not. If you don't support that child, what he or she wants, you're going to lose your child. High society wedding, they spend 50,000 pounds, 60,000 pounds. That's a lot of money, huge money. At the end of the day, the relationship ended or just 2 months, 3 months. Of what use? Marriage, it's something that you have to think of, not the wedding. The wedding is just the flamboyant day of spending, high-class society, bringing your friends, flying them in, wearing ashwabi, traditional clothes for the wedding, show off. But the marriage is what is important to last long. You should see the way the marriage is going to be is what matters most, not the wedding. The wedding is just the flamboyant one day spending. You spend that money hugely. But then at the end of the day, what about the happiness of that child? What about the happiness of her, of that lady, of that boy, of that guy? You forget about it completely. The high society wedding, they don't care. And I must tell you, with due respect, I must accord and give the respect to the royal family of the United Kingdom. And I will say it and say it again. I must give the 100% great humility respect to the royal family Buckingham Palace in the United Kingdom for them to allow Prince Harry to marry Meghan. I must give them so much respect with great humility because the class is not the same at all. In every ramification, it's a different word entirely. Quote me and I will say it again at any time. And therefore, I respect Her Majesty II for accepting that young lad to bring in that lady to the royal family. One of his first of his kind in the royal family. It's a way to understand people and watch them growing and see what they want for themselves. If they fail to accept what is bringing to that family, that will ruin royal family. I can tell you categorically because of some wounds that have already been there in the past. I must say kudos to the royal family of the United Kingdom, Buckingham Palace. I must say kudos. Most especially the decision maker, Her Majesty II, Queen Elizabeth. I must give her all the respect. In fact, she won my heart. In fact, I've always loved Queen Elizabeth. I've always loved Queen Elizabeth. I read history of her from her birth. See her growing when her father died, when her mother died, when her great-grandmother died, when her grandmother died, when she got married, when everything. I followed her history chronologically, so I am a royal palace person. So I love them dearly. I follow royal family of the United Kingdom history. I follow William and Harry when they were growing. I follow their mother, late Princess Diana, when she died, before she died. I follow her journey correctly. So I know everything about royal family. Nothing you can tell me about royal family that I don't know. I master it. I studied it. I read it. I buy books. I watch films. I watch videos. I say kudos. Kudos. Kudos to royal family on that. And that is only way you can have happiness of your son, of your daughter, by allowing them to choose their partner, life partner. And don't put your self-interest, self-center into it. God bless the Queen, Lasisi Ola. Thank you. That's just it. God bless Her Majesty II. Because she has done very well to accommodate her. Because they don't have anything in common. Don't forget, the situation Meghan came in with was the same situation that causes the abdication in England. It was the same situation that caused the abdication. But they don't want that problem again for the royal palace. The American divorcee, everybody knows about the history, but it's a way to accommodate because they failed to accommodate at that time. They failed to accept who she was. They failed to know that these two people are in love. These people are in love like Romeo and Juliet. If you read the Shakespeare very well, Romeo and Juliet, mothers and mother-in-law, parents and parents-in-law, I will use this medium to implore you. Allow your children to choose their own life partner by themselves. Don't put your self-interest forward. Let them bring in anybody they feel that they love. Give them your blessing, your prayer, and do the wedding for them and let them go on to it. If anything happens, they don't come back to blame you because your hand is not in it. Ladies and gentlemen, before I round up, I want to encourage you. With the tips that I have said, pick up the video and go back and go over it and follow it on to avoid future mistake for kids. It's not about your today. It's about the children. It's about the oncoming after us. It's very important. I always say to my children, anything you bring to the house and say, Mommy, this is the person I'm going to marry, you're stuck. Me, I will bless you with it. I will bless you with it. I will not discourage you. So think twice. Once you are bringing before there and said, I am marrying this person. This is my partner, daddy. This is my partner, mommy. You got my blessing. Because I'm not the one who's going to live in the house with them. I've told them I'm not mother-in-law that's coming to sit in somebody's house and be asking you for food to do. You have to bring the kids to my house for me to play with them. I will come and visit you occasionally when I'm free. Maybe I'm at Bahama. I'm at Bahama Highlands on the seaside with my husband, enjoying myself with my bikini. And you are expecting me, mother-in-law, to come and sit in the house and be babysitting. Umba! If you can manage to have kids, you should manage to babysit and do it yourself or go the childminder. I cannot work without enjoying my work. So all the money I'm working, so I should leave it in the bank for the bank managers to be transacting business in Japan, in Hong Kong, overnight. No. The whole idea of work is to enjoy my money at any time. So I go to Bahama Island, I enjoy myself, New York City, and go to Madison Tower Hall and go and enjoy my Trump hotel there and blow my money the way I like. That's my life. I work for it. Not to be babysitting and be doing my mother-in-law and prognosing and be asking that, is it 2 meats you are going to give or is it 2 meats you are giving your wife today or your husband today? Why don't you make it 4 meats? Is that 4 meats is not too much for you to eat? What's my business? Did I do the job for them? No, of course not. Of course not. I didn't work for the money for them. I worked money for me. Once I can give them their life, their education, their moral understanding of life and guide them and give them their own way. That's their problem. Let them go and get babysitter, go and get childminder to sit for the kids and take care of their kids in the house. No, I'm not mother-in-law that come and sit around and they will be insulting. Rara. I can't be one of those mother-in-law that will be sitting around and be asking the food in the kitchen. Rara. You have time, you bring the kids to my palace and come out and let me play with them. You understand? I'm not going to be in that category. I'm of mother-in-law prognosing into affairs. Poverty makes you think like that, makes you put yourself down and go into son's house and daughter-in-law and start getting involved and insulting your daughter-in-law, insulting your son-in-law. Yes, you go there and go and insult your daughter-in-law. Don't you think that she has a mother as well? And if you insult her, if you insult your daughter-in-law, don't you know that she's going to tell her mother, and you are creating a kind of enmity in the family? Èyàn ló bí òun náà nínú now. But bá insult ìyàwó ọmọ, of course she's going to tell her mom or dad or sister, and you are creating problem for your son. You are creating pressure for your son in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot keep you on to talk to you about this because it's a very long topic. But I want to cut it short because of time constraint. Because I always schedule my Saturday program 2 hours maximum, you know. So I want to just use this medium to encourage us. When choosing life partner, let kids choose it by themselves. Let the children choose the life partner by themselves. Don't put your nose into it because they went to university with him or her. They work with him or her. They party with him or her. They know what they want. We cannot put our society interest before them, before thee, and use it to put their enjoyment at stake, and use it to put their happiness at stake. No, we can't do that. What we need most is to make sure that they are happy in the relationship they are going into. Because if they bring that person to you and you are not the one that introduced the person to you, all you need is to pray for them. Pray diligently. Pray and guide them. So when it comes to choosing, it's prayer that you need above all. Whether you are a Christian, you are a Muslim, you are this, you are that, you don't need anyone except God. In every relationship, in every application, you need God before thee. If you can't put God first for the kids and pray for them all the time as a mother, as a father, then you are not ready to be in that position as a mother or as a father. Not about asking them for money because they are working, give me money, I want to go on holiday. No. That's the essence of you working and doing things yourself. Or not for you to be forcing them into relationships, sham marriage, arranged marriage, because of personal interest, contract. No, we can't do that anymore. Society is moving forward. Let the kids be happy so that we can have statistics correctly. Our statistics at the moment is wrong, is incorrect. The statistics is very low, it's bad. We should leave Satan to his own problems. Satan has his own problem. We should stop using every problem onto Satan. He's got his own problem that we are dealing with. So we should leave Satan to his own problem and cater for our own problem and stop pushing it to Satan all the time. In anything, God first. God first. Anyone that doesn't know God, you are wasting your time. Ladies and gentlemen, I love you and I cannot love you less. I thank you and I appreciate you for coming on this platform to listen to this topic. From time to time, I'll be bringing a topic of this caliber, but not every time. But from time to time, we'll be having a topic like this so that we can shape the world, we can move the world, we can correct what is wrong in the society so that we can move forward and have peaceful mind. When kids have peaceful marriage, you are peaceful at heart. I remember when Mrs. Tasha was in power, when there was a problem in Mark Tasha's marriage in Texas, Mrs. Tasha had to flow from the United Kingdom. She was in power. She has to fly in and go to Texas and control the marriage immediately. That's what they call good parents. That is what they call good parents. She fly and flown into the United States straight away to correct things. How do I mean by correct? Give them motherly advice, encourage them, and let them understand it's not that easy for two people who come from different homes to live together to become one. They have different personalities. At the end of the day, they have to come together to shape it together so that they will understand each other very well. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got to go now. I've got to go. I love you and I love you all. Unfortunately, I cannot leave phone for calls today anymore. I've got to go to my house. I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. You're wonderful. You're wonderful. You're wonderful. You are wonderful. All of you. Thank you. Thanks to all of you. Thank you. Perfect. You have done. Thank you, Mr. Miola. Thank you, Mr. Alawode. Thank you. Thanks to all of you. Thank you. Miss Kemi Ochu, thank you. Love you too. The big Sammy Great West, thank you. Thank you, Miss Adela. Thank you, Miss Yetunde. Thank you.